Brian, I checked in with some folks yesterday after we got off the air in anticipation of Dan Quinn's press conference. Just kind of like, hey, man, are we expecting any news here? And the reply I got was simple, but it was, yeah, expect some news.
Yeah.
And as soon as I heard that, I was like, all right, well, they're shutting them down.
Yeah.
Because there's no other news they can provide. I didn't think they were going to play him on a short week. And I always said if there were 2 games left, it's not worth it. And they're saying he's not going to be cleared for Saturday, which only leaves 2 games left. And one of those is on another short week going into the Cowboys.
Yep.
The reality is you're 4-10. The young man's dealt with injuries 4 different times, 3 different injuries. I'm okay with the decision.
I'm okay with the decision, and I think people need to just take a chill pill and relax and understand that they don't decide when the team decides to do something. I think the injury to Pat Mahomes and the injury to Michael Parsons.
You think that had a part of it?
I think it had something to do with it. They may say it didn't. But when you see those catastrophic injuries happen to players and, he had to – I think what you said last week when he had a repeat injury of the same injury, then all of a sudden I think you start looking at it differently. I don't think it was one person. I think everyone is trying to figure out who made the decision. Who cares who made the decision? I think every time a decision is made with a person of that ilk, it's a multiple amount of people making decisions. So I think it was front office, ownership, coaches, everybody decided on, listen, this, and the doctors as well, that this is the time to just do it. I think even when the time when Dan didn't take him out soon enough, that wasn't just a decision that Dan makes by himself. I think every time a decision is made with the quarterback, multiple people make that decision.
And, dude, there's levels to this, right? Like, the decisions that would be made for Marcus are not the same decisions that are going to be made for Jayden.
No.
Jayden's the number 2 overall pick, had one of the great rookie seasons ever. This season has not gone the way anybody wanted to, but it doesn't change the long-term viewpoint with Jayden. I also think a part of this and I don't think this would be the deciding factor for them to announce he's shut down for the season. But the fact that Laramie Tunsil came out of that game Sunday against the Giants, and Dan Quinn yesterday said it's an oblique issue, we'll see where his strength is at, and you couple that with Mahomes, you couple that with Parsons, a huge factor in this is that they're 4-10. You're 4-10. Like, that, you want all the game reps you can get, I understand all that, but you're not playing for anything this year. And Dan Quinn said a couple things yesterday to the media that I thought were pretty important and told the story. He said of the decision, so this is Dan Quinn yesterday. The first question likely is, well, DQ, what went into that? And the answer is it was a lot, and part medical and part team. As of today, this is yesterday, as of today, he still wasn't all the way clear to play. So the clearance level that the team is requiring, that could change. They might need him at 99% at this point.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, they can continue to raise that bar and just be like, oh, he's not cleared. But I think when he said part medical, part team, was really telling the truth. Because, yeah, the doctors are involved, but at some point, and DQ talked about, Adam and I talked through everything. And then he was asked, was ownership involved? And he's like, dude, we don't tell the owners anything. We have conversations with the owners. And it gets really easy to parse all the words, and there have been inconsistencies in the discussion here. But these dudes are not, at a Senate hearing. They're allowed to frame the story how they want. Mm-hmm. And I think the best line Dan Quinn had yesterday was talking about when they brought Jayden back against Minnesota. And he said, we had a really good plan for those 5 games. And what's the line? Man plans and God laughs. Because they had a plan. Dude, go back to the Minnesota tape.
Yeah.
There was no designed quarterback runs in the game plan. I was told that pregame. If you watch it before Jayden gets hurt, not a one. There was no RPO. There was nothing. Now, he took off running because he was scrambling, and it's who he is as a player. The injury was off a pick where he tried to chase down a returner.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe in the offseason they have a conversation about, hey, dude, don't do that. You're too valuable to try to make a tackle. But, like, this season with Jayden has been such a series of weird, fluky things that I don't think you need to try to extrapolate too much. If you want to say, my concern coming out of the draft was his lean body style surviving in the NFL, and you feel validated by that position in year 2, okay, but where were those concerns year 1?
Yeah.
Because he started every game.
That's the question I've been asking everyone that wants to say everything they want to say. Because no one's cared about that last year. But the thing I say is this. If he was not hurt at any point this year, he would be playing at 4-10. 4-10 doesn't make a difference. It's the fact that he's been hurt and they're 4-10. I think we have to realize that the injuries and then watching other people go down, that all plays into it. If he had been at this point right now and he didn't have the knee or the hamstring or the elbow, he plays at 4-10. You know, I think we got to stop making things like, oh, 4-10, it's 4-10 with the injuries. If it wasn't injuries, he plays.
Right. Like, if he was fully healthy and they were having a bad season, one, if he was fully healthy all year, I think the record would be different. But, you know, if my aunt had wheels, she'd be a bicycle or whatever the phrase is.
Nah, it's something else.
Yeah, but I'm saying the version I can say on the radio.
It's a little bit something else on that one.
Somebody asked DQ, you know, if this team was 10-4 and not 4-10, would the Daniels decision be different? And he shut that down immediately. Said, "Yeah, we're not." So we didn't have.
See,
that discussion.
the thing is this though. Why is it this is where I get upset? Why is it that people can't discuss what we're discussing? It's like, you're damn if you do, you're damn if you don't. They're 4-10. This is where they're at. Why would I speculate if we were 10-4? Because let's be real, if we were 10-4, guess what? He probably wasn't hurt. If we're sitting at 10-4, probably other people wasn't hurt. You probably hadn't seen anything. So why? It's like it's never you can deal with what the topic is. The topic is they shut him down. Okay. And I think the answer is simple. We've decided at this point it's the right thing to do.
Do you think it's the right thing to do?
Yes. I think at this point, yes. Because what I kept saying they have a right to change their mind. Okay? Because I think just like what you were stating, as you get closer to the end, and then you start to see the injury stuff, and you start wondering, okay, why now? Like the fans, like, well, why now? Like one guy tried to say, I was looking at the thing, well, you know, people pay their money to go see people play, blah, blah, blah. Well, they can pull a guy at any time they want if he has any injury. You don't dictate when a guy plays. So at this point now, they got better, they got more information, and I will go to my grave saying it. When they saw Pat and Micah go down, that just refreshes their mind. Boom, it's done. You know, because when you see things happening to other guys, you start worrying about your guys. Now, it's easy to say, well, you shouldn't let that stuff bother you. Well, you know you do. Human beings always let something else that happens to somebody else bother them.
I think.
For some reason, this thing is not getting up.
Whoa, pause.
The computer,
you need that Blue Chew, dog.
My computer needs Blue Chew.
I think they reserve the right to change their mind is so accurate. And the difference between 5 games left where as much as it seemed highly unlikely, statistically the probabilities were damn near zero, they weren't eliminated yet going into Minnesota. They were coming off a bye. He wanted to play. He's a super competitive dude, and you never want to dampen that spirit, right?
Never.
But a couple weeks later, the situation is very different. And honestly, I think if they hadn't looked so bad against the Vikings, the situation would have been different. Mm-hmm. I do not have a ton of problem with this. I think what's unfortunate in a lot of ways is we have 3 games to get through, cover, watch. you do wonder what, if any, impact shutting Jayden down has on other veteran players. Like, if Tunsil's fighting this oblique injury, I find it harder to believe he's going to play. And then, Bobby Wagner's been gutting through this knee thing for weeks. Now, Bobby's got a consecutive game streak that's pretty outrageous. I imagine he wants to keep going. But, we get to week 18, and if somehow Terry and Debo are inactive, I won't be shocked what else transpires here.
Yeah.
But at the same time, one of the hardest parts of this is the biggest questions we have now for Washington won't be answered until February or March. Because the biggest questions about the organization and where this thing is going are not dependent on the final 3 games, 2 against Philly and 1 against Dallas.
I think a lot of things need to be decided moving forward has already been discussed. I think every player on this team understands they're going to handle the QB different than everybody else. I think every player on this football team understands that's how it has happened since Little League. Okay? It's no strain to those players inside that locker room when things like this happen. It's a strain to the people outside the locker room because they want to assume that, the other players are going to feel, well, why don't I? Other players don't care about that. They know the quarterback is treated differently. They understand, just like when Jayden was drafted, what did everybody to a man say as we opened these phone lines? We finally got that piece. We got the piece we need. You don't say that when you draft another position. No matter how good the guy is. You say that when you draft a quarterback. So I think the whole uproar,
it's the most important position in sports.
It's the most important position, but also the most dependent position.
I know that
it's a
part.
Weird thing, but it's just like the uproar when it happens. I don't understand it at all. I'm serious. At this point now, we know when they got closer, as they moved closer to the end of the season, this was a possibility, and I think everybody understood that. But when it happens, then people act like, oh, Lord, I can't believe. You were expecting it to happen at some point. So whether it happened at the point you thought or the point the day before or the day after, it's the same damn situation that was decided the same decision that was made. So it doesn't make a difference if it's 1 week or 2 weeks. It's the decision that you thought was going to happen anyway. Many people. And I speak in you saying it because of everybody out there that want to now act like, I can't believe this. Well, you were expecting it the whole time.
I think the majority of people are good with it, understand how this landed here, and if there are concerns, okay, after Minnesota they said he could have come back in, then they said he wasn't able to play the following week. One, things can change during those 24, 48, 72 hours.
Yeah.
And two, we could try to analyze this a million ways. We could try to parse DQ's words a couple ways. I get all that. But, we're going to have to open the phone lines up. We got a busy show. Kelly in Vegas joining us next. Joe B at 11. Doc Walker going to join us at noon. I look forward to hearing from Doc. 1 o'clock, we'll open the phone lines up for the rest of the day. I don't think there's a big bulk of people mad about this decision. In general, I would think most fans are somewhere between supportive and at least understanding. And I made a point of asking Dan Quinn yesterday how Jayden took the news. Because if there's one thing you and I
He was probably pissed.
I think you and I both know how competitive he is and that the joy of his life is playing football and he wants to be out there. And I asked DQ, how'd it go when you told Jayden?
I would say disappointed but understood as well. This guy's a competitor, JP. That's what always stands out about him. I think the fact that wanted no part of IR to practice, be there with the guys, doing that, I think that speaks of the teammate and why. And so that was important to him, to show that support and wanting to do it as well. So that told us a lot, also about it, because it would have been the easy way to say whatever, and that's not how he is at all. So I like the fact that he's competitive. I like the fact that he wants this time, and so that's an important piece to it.
of course he's disappointed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think it'd be more worrisome if he wasn't. But I believe it's all adults in the room making these decisions. I don't think we've gone back. I mean, since they hired everyone, like since Harris hired Peters, I feel like everything has been intentional with this group.
Mm-hmm.
And certainly the intention this year was not to bottom out and go 4-10 a year after going 12-5. But like, I don't think this is a haphazard, willy-nilly process to arrive at this decision. I think Jayden had to have some idea it was possible. And I think they're just trying to be best for the organization and the young man going forward.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you have a tremendous problem with it, like, oh, he needs the work, he needs the reps, like, I'm not saying you're wrong. I think he wants the work. He wants the reps. He wants to play in the games. But I think it's difficult to see this decision and be, like, really upset.
He may need the work. He may need the reps. But they have a long-term plan. And he is a vital part of that plan. And I think you try to make sure that you get that plan, that person involved with the things as you start to continue what you probably should have done this year, but they didn't. Like the continued building of the foundation of this team, the base of this team. They're going to continue doing that, and he's a major part of that. Because if he just gets back to what he was last year, stay out of harm's way, he can go where he wants to go. Listen, I've seen a lot of people gain 20 pounds, gain 30 pounds, gain 40 pounds. For what? 20, 30, 40 is going to now allow him not to be the person he is. When you really look at this thing, you go to a 5, 10 pound, just make different decisions on the field. And also, as you get older, you get tougher. You get a little thicker. You start to gain a little bit more body fat instead of just being all lean muscle and bones. So things are happening a little differently.
So, got this tweet from Ike Dog, right? And he says, man, y'all switched up quick. What happened? It can't be scared to play football. My stance has always been if it gets to 2 games, it's not worth it. And at 5 games, I felt very differently. They're saying he's not going to be cleared for this game, which only leaves 2 games. I
don't think anybody is changing up quick. The whole thing of the matter is this. Jayden wants to play, right? I said football players play. That's what I said. He wants to play. And I also said the people have to sometimes protect players from themselves. Did I not say that?
Yeah.
So in this situation, it's obvious somebody else made the decision. He didn't make the damn decision.
No chance.
I've said again, if you listen to the show instead of always trying, this is why I get so pissed off at fans. They always think they're going to get it. I got you. You ain't got nobody. Okay? I always said I'd rather calm a fool than resurrect a corpse. Okay? In this situation, I'm not calling him a fool, but I'm saying he's a guy that wants to play no matter what. So somebody else has to come in and say, no. We got to hold you back just a little bit. So if the people that's paying him the money decides that it's more valuable for him not to play than to play, I don't give a damn what any fan has to say. And you could call me and you could say what the hell what you think I said. I don't care what you say because those people are the ones that really matter. They're spending the money. They're making decisions. They're building this thing. It's not what the hell we think, to be totally honest.